Oh, that's a Chandra's Ignition. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me. We're gonna route that. Route saving the day. Love it. Today on Commander Replay, we take an updated look at Sephara Sky's Blade and see what we can do with a bunch of cheap flyers. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's two great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below. Welcome back everyone, playing some Sephara Sky's Blade today. This is one that I've wanted to revisit for quite a long time. Anyway, let's take a look at this opener. Oh man, if this was 2 lands, it's probably keepable, but it is not mulligan. 2 lands Stoneforge Mystic. Stoneforge Mystic's gonna have to do a lot of work here. I think we can keep it though. It's gonna have to be a Sword of the Animists. Or has to be Sword of the Animist, Dowsing Dagger, or Hearthenholm. Those are basically the only options. It's the old turn 1 Field of the Dead for opponent. Ugh. See where that deck's going. Boots of Speed. Yeah. There's a Thran Dynamo. Thran Dynamo's a cool card. Let's play the Myriad Landscape. In case like a random Soul Ring or something shows up. Though I guess we'd need an untapped land, which we do not have. But we'll see what happens. Selfless Savior. Let's see how much I'm cheating on lands in this deck. Ooh, a little bit. A little bit. There are 3 flip lands in the deck, so it's actually 36, which I guess isn't terrible. Selfless Spirit. Always Watching is not a land, so we're going to play the Kabira Plateau and then put ourselves in super slow motion. Perhaps we should have mulliganed again, but Leather Armor for opponent. Creature gets +0/+1 and Ward 1. They equip Laelia into play. Into Flintlock. Laelia trigger. That first turn with Laelia is always kind of awkward because you probably can't cast what's on top, unless that happens to be a 0 card. That's a Perforos that we're not going to have to deal with. That's cool. Notably, there are only 2 colors at this table. We're playing white, opponent's playing Boros, opponent's playing Boros, and Sean's playing red. This is my kind of table. No counterspells and no one running away with 8 mana on turn 3. Love it. We did not catch the land, though. Oh, what to think about. Ground creatures. Like, I almost feel like we need the boost from Lost Veil. Because Sword of the Animus takes a little while to get going. Guess we could also get Hearthenholm. Hearthenholm is probably the right idea. Because we can flash it in at the end step. Yeah, also gives us protection from colors. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. Hearthenholm. God, do I really want to draw a land, though. We're going to discard the Always Watching. We have a Maria Shepherd so we can get it back. And as much as I like it, we can live without it if we get wheeled or something like that. Koll, the Forge Master, coming in. Soul Ring for opponent. Smothering Tithe. Ugh. Probably gets him attacked. Sean's deck kills pretty quickly. Laelia gets big in a hurry. Haunted Cloak. Yep. Equips. Professional Facebreaker gets exiled. No mana to cast it. 3/3 over to D-Manny. He's gonna block. I think this is just because like his machine is kind of slow and he's used 7 minutes and we're on turn 4 and it's just because he's holding up priority on the Selfless Spirit. So I think he's just gonna let it go. He might have a way to get it back. Oh, thank God there's a land. I was really getting worried if we didn't catch a land right here. Luckily we do. Play the Flooded Strand. Past the turn, we're actually going to have some choices. We could either crack the Landscape or drop in the Hearthenholm. I think I'd like the drop in the Hearthenholm just because, yeah, it seems good. Current state, they both sort of feel about the same. You know what we can do? We can get a Mistveil Plains with this just in case we need it. And then, which is why it's in here, in a monocolor deck. And then use the 2, drop in the Hearthenholm, and then go about it that way. Burnished Heart for opponent. Oh man. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, if it was enchanted or equipped, return it to its owner's hand. It seems good with a Burnished Heart. Sends the Koll over to D-Manny. That's a farewell. Oh god. Going all modes. Okay. That is unfortunate. He goes enchantments. He's the only one with an enchantment. Yeah, I mean, I guess we hold the Hearthenholm then. We'll go in the Myriad Landscape plan. Opponent's gonna sack a creature. Yep. Make something indestructible just so this doesn't go to exile. And it'll go back to their hand. This farewell is probably what we need to bring opponents down to where we are. Because they're all gonna lose a bit right here. Basically all of their early game plays are gonna go away. And we haven't really lost that much into it now. The Hearthenholm Stoneforge Mystic combo is really good because you just pull all the equipment out of your deck while ramping. It's very strong. Yep. No, he skipped enchantments. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So he's going to get a big lead. Everyone else is going to get set back a bunch. All that being the case, now's a good time to do all this stuff. We can't get the Mistveil Plains and Crack right here. That's frustrating. We'll get the Mistveil Plains after. I think there's a few more fetches in there. We need the mana right now. Get 2 Plains. Another land off the top would be good. Then we could go like Thran Dynamo, Remorseful Cleric. And I like that. Get set up for the sword next turn. Hero of Bladehold into play. Yeah, that's a card. And he's going to swords it right away. No big deal. The thing you have to wonder about is with an Iroas deck, do you save that swords for Iroas just because Iroas is a nightmare to get out of play? It is their commander, so they can recast it. With a Smothering Tide, they can recast it very easily. Now that there's also a Gaia Reach Sanitarium on the scene now. Laelia coming back into D-Manny. Exiles his Crackle with power. Well, good thing you won't be able to cast that. So far, kind of getting bit with his Exiles a little bit just because he hasn't had the mana to be able to cast anything. It's a tricky card like that. Brings back to our turn. Oh, thank God, a land. Can't pay. Play the Plains, play the Thran Dynamo. Cast the Remorseful Cleric. And we have 2 floating, can't do anything with it, that's fine. Now, we're in a decent spot. That Farewell helped us out a lot. Selfless Savior, Koll back to play. Let's take a quick peek at our deck. So here's the deck list. I really wanted to take a revisit of this and just like load it with cheap flyers so that in theory we can get the alternate casting cost off of Sephara. Based on the Thran Dynamo that we currently have in play, we'll probably just hard cast it. But yeah, this is a lower curve deck than a lot of the things I typically run these days. You'll notice very thin at 5 mana, really thin at 6, and I'm a guy that likes my 6 drops a lot. That's where a lot of the cool, powerful, fun cards. And white, you have a lot at 7 with angels and stuff like that. I have a couple in this deck just to give it some late game push. We see an Elish Norn to kind of pump the team. We got a Legion Loyalty in here. Hopefully we'll get a look at that one. Could be really cool. But yeah, this the curve tapers off much more than a lot of my decks typically do. We'll see how that works out. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. Honestly, I'd love to be able to play 3 or 4 games with this deck just to kind of feel it out against a decent variety of stuff and with like a decent number of opening hands and just kind of see all that stuff. Because this is like definitely not the best opener that we kept, but we caught a break with the Farewell and really not losing too much into it. Iroas into play, yep. He does have an Adeline in play, and Adeline is a very good Magic card. Sean on the attack, our way, yep. Unless we draw a 3-drop specifically, we can pay for the Smothering Tide this turn. We take a hit, 4 commander, 35. He exiles a land, plays a land. Dockside Extortionist, not going to be as good after that Farewell went off, but still a few with the Smothering Tide rolling around. And yeah, just trying to get that early game boost. It's still going to be decent. 5, I think? D-Manny sacks a treasure, so only 4. It's okay, 5 is definitely better than 4. World at War! Uh-oh. You know, I feel like he might have jumped the gun on that one a little bit. I'd probably try to get set up with another equipment or something first. Maybe it's fine. Depends on what he hits. If he can cast the next card, then maybe it works out. Also, this will put us on a lot of commander damage if he comes back our way. No, he's going to go over to Flintlock this time. Oh, there's a Morog. Well, Morog's not coming in. Yeah, he's really getting bit with the exile this game. You know, it might make sense to have, like, Divining Top or Crystal Ball. Something that allows you to scry, because, you know, being able to manipulate the top of your deck is going to be much better than going blind on every single flip. And, you know, sometimes when you go blind, you're just going to you're going to hit all your big stuff like this. I've had it happen with, like, Ignite the Future and things like that. Oh, we catch a flump. Okay, well, we're not going to pay for the Smothering Tide then. I've been very interested to try this card out, so we're finally going to get a look at it. People have been telling me it's good, so pretty excited. We'll play the Sword of Hearth and Home right here. Equip the Sword of Hearth and Home. Oh, could we still have paid? We could still have paid. Whoops. Yeah, if we get a land right here. Oh well, it's only 1 treasure. Next turn, we'll start with the paying. Attack into Sean. So turn 6, it's taken us to get going here. We're finally going to get some decent value happening. Hearth and Home trigger. No blink. Get a Plains. Yeah, we definitely could have paid. Whoops. Cast Flump. We could put the sword on it in case Adeline comes our way. Actually, with Iroas, we only have a single blocker, so I guess it's not going to matter. We would then have to spend that mana to move it back next turn, which would be a pain. However, we are set up to go Amaria Shepherd and get back this Always Watching, which is kind of cool, with the land. But, ooh, okay. Crap, we're 1 flyer short of Sephara. We can catch a cheap flyer. That would be also ideal. Opponent's going to attack our way. Yeah, let's try out this flump. We'll block. There's the damage trigger. They can draw. Seems fair. Wow, you can choose the opponent? That's cool. There's a Bygone Bishop. That is indeed a cheap flyer. We can pay for the Smothering Tithe, so that works out. Not wasting that mana. Love it. I do see a problem here with the Smothering Tithe, though. Potential to feed him a lot of mana. We're currently one short of being able to go Ameria Shepherd, Bygone Bishop, get back, get the land, blink the thing, get back Always Watching, and cast Sephara all in the same turn. So with that being the case, I might just get Sephara in, and then kind of save these as the backup play. Miss Veil Plains puts the Farewell back into his deck. He does have a War Room. I assume he's going to draw with that based on his card count. There's the War Room, down to 31. Going over to Sean. Adeline trigger. 3 tokens. We can't block because of the Iroas Menace. Oh, you want what's interesting? So, I did think about this a little bit when I put it in the deck, but when you give this indestructible, that means that, you know, you can just throw it in front of some big stuff, draw the card. As long as it doesn't have trample, you're in good shape. And this doesn't currently. There are a lot of ways to give it trample, so that's definitely a thing. But if Sean comes our way both times, I may block and just give up on this and then try to get it back with the Ameria Shepherd, because commander damage stacks up really quickly with this Laelia deck. There's probably some reason why I should think about putting a Selfless Savior in this deck to protect Sephara. I think I cut just about all of the big angels that would also protect Sephara, Avacyn, and the 6-mana one, just so I could keep the curve down, right? Like, I've played angel decks a lot. I was just trying to be a little bit different from the things that I've done in the past, because yes, I've played all of the angels many, many times, and they're certainly effective, but they also want you to build the deck a little bit differently. You need to ramp like crazy to really get them in. So yeah, I was just trying to take this in a different direction. Laelia almost thinks about us for a minute, but then sends it into D-Manny. Now it's 6/6. If the second one comes our way, I'm definitely going to throw this thing in front. There's the World at War. He must have exiled the land. Yeah, this one's coming our way. He hits a Savage Beating. Means there's going to be another one. See if he casts it now. It has to be cast during combat. Let's see if he remembers that, because that's an easy one to mess up. I've definitely done it. Yeah, here comes the Savage Beating. Wow. Oh, that's so much damage. So the next one he's going to attack again. It'll be 8, it'll be 16, it'll go to 20. I mean, we don't necessarily know that he's going to come back in our direction. He may or may not. So we're just going to throw this thing in front. Flintlock can draw. Esper Sentinel is cheap. Can be cast easily. Is nice. Can't pay for the Smothering Tithe. I mean, the other way to go is, do we hold up Route? Oh, thank God, this one's going over to Flintlock. Yeah, I mean, we may just want to sit on the Route in case we need to pull the trigger. On the other hand, you can throw his commander in front. Yep. This is a commander that I'd like to explore more. There's some wild stuff you can do with this thing. I haven't really spent a lot of time looking at it. I think I played it once on the channel, but I know people were trying out some CEDH builds with it. I don't know how those ended up. I don't know if it's really a viable deck or not. It's probably close. The one thing that I would say is from what I've seen, most of the combos take about 4 cards, which is, it's a little bit, right? But you know, them CEDH players are very inventive, so it is something that I think could be worked out and could be very strong. Oh yeah, opponent gives it indestructible with the dog, and yeah, they just soak up all that damage, so it's got 16 damage marked on it. No harm, no foul. Seismic Wave deals 2 damage to any target and 1 damage to each non-artifact creature target opponent controls. Interesting. There's a Dowsing Dagger. That's more mana. D-Manny can have the mana. He's already got plenty and not that many cards. Sean has indicated via private message that he has more and was holding back some, which is probably a recipe to sit on this route. So let's get the Dowsing Dagger. Plants pump up the Adeline. Flintlock can have the plants. We'll equip this thing. Swing into Sean. Hearth and Home and Dowsing Dagger transform into the Lost Veil. Several years ago, it's hard to believe that I was not all that high on Dowsing Dagger. I'm like, oh, it's a slow Thran Dynamo. I'm like, it's an awesome Thran Dynamo is what it is. Get Up Plains. It's a Thran Dynamo that you can start casting like earlier. Like if you get a 1-drop in and you go turn 2, turn 3 equip and swing, it's a pretty good place to be. We have 9 total mana. This will take 7. So what I want to do, I'm going to cast this Esper Sentinel even though we're probably going to have to blow it up. And we do not want to move the sword because we will not have enough mana to route. So yeah, pass like that. I'm gambling that we're going to be able to draw at least once with this thing. If not, we still have the Emeria Shepherd. We have the Hearth and Home, so, I feel pretty comfortable. And I know we have a few things we want to get back at this point, but I feel comfortable that we'll be able to get this back. So I'm kind of playing a gamble here. That also, it is just a blocker. This thing doesn't have trample yet, which is good. Selfless Savior, back to play, yeah. Looks really good when you put cheap equipment on it in that deck. Ogrehead Helm, yep. This is an interesting card. 2 mana, 2/2. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. When Ogrehead Helm or equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. If you do, discard your hand, draw 3 cards. If you didn't have to discard your hand, it'd be pretty cool. I don't love that. I don't love the discard your hand portion, because you're already sacrificing the card. And, at that point, you've spent, mana and time and energy getting it equipped and getting it through combat. So the discarding the hand makes it feel a little excessive. Opponent goes, no attacks. Yep. 3 aggro decks at the table. Yeah, that's a recipe for holding back, is what that is. Notably, did not draw with the Esper Sentinel right there. Let's see what D-Man he's got for us. Oop, Field of the Dead's active. He's going to get some blockers. Unfortunately, he has so much treasure that he can easily pay for this Esper Sentinel if he wants to. There's a War Room activation. That's a Wheel of Misfortune. I actually like our hand a lot. Oh, we draw an Elesh Norn. I like our hand even more. Not paying. Oh god, he is a Smothering Tithe. We may not be the only one that goes 0 right here. Sean's got 5 cards. Flintlock's got 4. If those cards are good, then there might be a reason to hold on to them. We're going to go 0. Wow, we all chose 0. Only D-Manny got cards. Letting opponents know, good job everyone for being responsible with that wheel. Oh, that's a Savior of Olembach. Don't love that. How does this thing work? When this creature attacks with another creature, it doesn't have haste yet. That's good. We get a turn, because we will have to sacrifice this thing eventually. And really don't... Oh, God, there's a Karmic Guide in there. And an Emeria Shepherd. Okay, yeah, there's some big-time targets in the graveyard, so we will want to exile that graveyard before any of those things come back, because those will be a problem. I assume Sean's getting attacked right here. Yep. Iroas in our direction. Can't do a... we could cast the Rout and probably kill enough creatures to make Iroas not a problem, but it's just 7 currently. If Double Strike shows up or something unexpectedly, then maybe we route, but current state, I think we can wait this out a little bit. Take the damage. Also, we've got an Elesh Norn, Elesh Norn will solve a lot of problems on board. A lot of things will die. Koll can't be recast. Laelia can't be recast. Yeah, Elesh Norn seems brutal against this board. Remorseful Cleric for opponent is not ideal. That's going to make it not great trying to get all that stuff back from our graveyard. I was really excited about this Always Watching, too. It's not a card I run very often. We're probably still going to route. I just want to see what Sean's going to do first. If he's going to try to kill D-Manny, then we'll let that happen. If he comes in our direction, everything's getting blued up. D-Manny said he was looking for Double Strike or Lifelink and didn't find either. Yeah, he is, I don't want to say he's wide open. He does have some blockers, but, if this is big with Trample and some keywords, might be an issue for him. Ha Unleash Fury. Double the power of target creature until end of turn. You want to know what I heard is really good? It's the Axe at one of the new sets that just came out that doubles the power of target creature and then I think gives a double strike or something when it's equipped. Something like that. Can't remember the name of it. It's like a common or uncommon. Someone was saying online that it's a very good card. Nope, can't pay. Gotta hold up the route. We do draw this Steel Plume Marshal. I'm a little worried that we're not going to get time to cast all of these cards because there's so much aggro on board that everyone's going to be dead before we get all these fun things into play. It's a 16-8. No big deal. Oh, that's a Chandra's Ignition. Yeah, that's not going to work for me. We're going to route that. Crap, I forgot to do the thing. Fantastic. Opponent responds. We'll sacrifice and exile D-Manny's graveyard. Notably, all of his recursion is in it. Karmic Guide, Emeria Shepherd, and Selfless Spirit. He's going to Misveil Plains the Karmic Guide back into his deck. That's fine. He's going to exile our graveyard. That's unfortunate. I wanted those cards. Pretty sad about that. Esper Sentinel will make it to our graveyard, though, which means we can get it back, which is cool. Route! Saving the day! Love it. No one has to die to this Chandra's Ignition right here. Savior of Olembach also dies, and there were no cards exiled with it, so averted some disaster there as well. God, I would love to catch Ketra's Monument off the top. Try to get some of these creatures out of our hand easier. Oh, that's an Arid Mesa. Huh. I wasn't planning on the Emeria Shepherd. I think we wait on the Emeria. I told everyone I have a mean play. Sean said do it. All right. Well, you asked for it. Elish Norn. Grind this game to a halt. Play the Arid Mesa. We're probably not going to crack it yet. Let's get the Bygone Bishop in. I'll put the sword on the Elish Norn. And then we'll pass like that. Mask of Memory for opponent. They will need to find something with bigger than 2 toughness or removal for this Elish Norn. Everyone explaining how incredibly crushed they are by this Elish Norn. And I'm loving it. Based on how our early game went, we now control the late game, and I love it. I'm a late game kind of guy. Opponent plays a land, and it immediately dies to the Elish Norn. Love it. Angel of Glory's Rise. There's a few things in there. We didn't get rid of everything. Uh-oh. He's got the Angel of Glory's Rise, Savior of Olenbach combo. Oh, wait a second. Savior of Olenbach can't come back into play. God, I love Elish Norn. It's so good. You guys remember that video from the other day where I was saying that Elish Norn is stronger than Sun Titan? I mean, they're very, very close in power, and they do different things. But this is why. Our opponents are just getting hammered by this thing right now. It's the difference between generating value for yourself and making it so your opponents can't do anything. And I love it. Draws with the War Room. His life's getting low. He does have 1 flyer now, though. Hainware Garrison just barely survives. Tokens won't survive, which is good. The Adeline tokens also won't survive. Oh yeah, this Elish Norn. This Elish Norn is so good. Goldspan Dragon is a card that he can cast in route and looking for something to answer the Elish Norn. We can find a cheap flyer somewhere. We could think about doing the Sephara alternate cost thing. Although, I don't know, maybe it just makes sense to hardcast Sephara, but I kind of want to get the Emeria Shepherd and crack and get the Esper Sentinel. But, maybe it makes sense to get Sephara here. That's the swords. Helpful for not dying. Not paying. I don't know what our mana's going to look like yet here. We do also have a True Conviction. That would speed up our clock on the old killing. Yeah, let's get the True Conviction. We have 8 mana left. Let's go like this. Send this one into Sean and this one into Flintlock. Actually, belay that. Send this one into D-Manny. D-Manny has a much more threatening board state than Sean. Opponent's going to block. Yeah, that's a lot of damage to take. Oh my god, we're going to double strike and get 2 lands. That just occurred to me. So we can go Steel Plume, leave up a Chroma's Will. Seems like a great place. Blink this thing to untap it. Get a Plains. Yeah, this was definitely the right call. Don't need to blink again. We will get another land, though. Man, imagine if we had the Emeria Shepherd and all of our stuff still in our graveyard. It would all be back in play. All right. Let's get the Steel Plume into play. And this allows us to sit on a Chroma's Will and swords should the worst happen. Brass Squire for opponent. Equips the Banshee Blade. It's going to activate the Gaia Reach Sanitarium. That'll feed D-Manny a lot of mana. There's a high market. I think we're okay without a high market. These other 3 cards are very good. And our mana's actually okay now. After a double strike hit with the sword, Thran Dynamo's been in play for a few turns. Got ourselves back on track. Let's check our lands, I'm just curious. We have 11 lands on turn 9, and one of them makes triple. So we have caught up and surpassed the turn count, which is exactly where you want to be. And then, of course, 3 more off of the Thran Dynamo. Puts the Banshee Blade on Brass Squire. Opponent's going to Ghost Quarter their Field of the Dead because it's not doing anything. Sure. They could have shot our Lost Veil. But I don't know if they need... They have treasures. I don't know if they need the mana for something. He's going to activate his own Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Oh, that might have been to shuffle, because he did put Farewell back into his deck, so he's probably trying to get the Farewell. Triggers a Smothering Tithe the bunch. Sarah Sentent is something that we can reanimate. Love it. And is a flyer, so we can get we can get all the stuff in there that I want to get in. Love it. We're not going to pay. There are so few cards we're worried about from our opponents. Draws with the War Room. What do I always say in a time like this? At least one player can't recast their commander. Currently, there are 2 players that cannot recast their commander when an Elish Norn is in play. Dockside Extortionist will generate a lot of mana, or at least some amount of mana, but will not get to stay in play. What do we have? We have 3. There's a couple over here. Makes a lot of mana. Oh, nice. He's going to flip this into Hainware the Writhing Township. I've seen this so few times. It is so hard to put these together. Sadly, the 3/2s will die immediately. Savine's Reclamation on Savior of Olenbach. I don't think that does what he wants it to do. He did say he just wanted to have some fun before we all die. So I wonder if he's just screwing around. Or if that was actually a misplay. I assume it's the screwing around. Mangara is a card. That was one of the issues I had in this deck, is that I was trying to get card draw into the deck, and like a lot of the card draw is ground-based. Flump is one of the very few flying card draw pieces in white. Also that new thing that ETBs and draws a card. But like drawing one card is like, you know, you need to draw more than one to really be effective, because at that point you're just kind of like, it's just kind of replacing itself, which is okay. It's better than not replacing itself, but it's not going to just win you the game on card advantage. It's not a thing that it does. Gyreage Sanitarium. Corehaven. Sadly, Corehaven's going to go to the graveyard. Believe it or not, we actually don't have lethal on all three players, and without haste. Yeah, that's kind of a thing. Even with the Achromas will. Oh, wait. Oh, with this thing we might. Other flyers. So that's this one. So this will get pumped up to Unexpected Windfall. Actually, yeah, we might be able to make this work. Oh, you have to tap the creatures with Sephara. Man, I really want to get Sephara in, and like I feel like everyone's gonna die before we do that. Ugh. Chaos Warp on the Elesh Norn. We'll let it go away, see what happens. Make this game a little more interesting. I know we could protect it. But I really want to cast Sephara. That's what I've been trying to do all game. That's where I'm trying to get to, so we'll let this happen.
I'll be back.
We still have Double Strike, so doesn't have profitable attacks over here. Curious to see if he wants to attack anyone else. Those treasures are pretty good with Goldspan Dragons, so... Now he's just going to swing it our way. Someone forgot about the Double Strike. Either that or he's just throwing in the towel and doesn't really care anymore. One or the other. Yeah, block with both. Down that goes. We go to 47. Virgie into play. Okay. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Soul Ring. Soul Ring. Amaria Shepherd. Opponent will get to draw. Crack the Arid Mesa. Get Mistveil Plains. Amaria Shepherd. Get the Sarah Ascendant. Ah, crap. We don't have Vigilance. This would give us Vigilance, wouldn't it? Flying Vigilance, Double Strike. We already have most of those abilities. Battlefield. Yeah, that's why we wanted the Always Watching. Also, Brave the Sands. Really good for this deck. A card that I always try to run and just never seems to make it. Maybe we're just hard casting. Yeah, I guess we're just hard casting Sephara. At some point, we got a Pearl Medallion in. Oh, it must have been off the Chaos Warp. Yeah, that helps. That does help. Put this thing on here. Turn 10. Finally got our commander. Been a weird game. That early farewell was interesting. I get what he was doing. He was playing the hunch that his Smothering Tithe mana was just going to outproduce everything at the table and slow down everyone else's early start. I still feel like that was maybe a turn too soon, because he saw our sword, I'm pretty sure. So he definitely could have caught our sword in there somewhere. We've got these 2 attacks right here. I think this should be lethal on him. Mangara. Steel Plume triggers. Always wanted to use this card. Finally getting a chance to do so. It's out of Jumpstart, so it's like a pain to find, but... Or at least it was. T-Manny, the pump, yep. The pump's what's going to get him. He's got a path. Well, that's not good. Well, this has got Pro White, so we're good. Don't exile the Steel Plume. Never get to use the Steel Plume. Oh, he disconnected. Yep, path on the Steel Plume. Oh. I guess we'll get the Esper Sentinel back. Well, that was probably going to happen anyway, but... Path on the Amaria Shepherd? No. Oh, really? Really? That's what we're doing? I want the Esper Sentinel. I love Amaria Shepherd. Opponents exile it. Opponents emptying all the paths out of their hand. 2 planes into play. Hearth and Home. Yeah, I'll just leave everything where it is. We have 4 planes left in the deck. We are getting down there. Hearth and Home... D-Manny goes down. Down to 2 planes in the deck. Wow. Now, I do run a lot of utility lands, especially on MTGO, so that definitely cuts down the number of basics. In paper, I have like 20 decks, so, deck number 19 does not have access to all of the utility lands, so that deck is probably like 28 basics, which means you can go get cards for days with Sword of Hearth and Home. Koll coming back to play. Yep. Lion Sash. Opponent has cute stuff over here. I haven't figured out what their win condition is yet. I don't know, it's just like Koll value or something, but it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Just I don't see I haven't really figured out what their plan is yet. There's another guy reach. It's back! I think it'll be funny if we recast it. We'll ditch the swords. I don't feel like we're gonna die this turn. Laelia into play. Burgie triggers. Kinjali Sunwing. How about that? Alright, let's cast this Elesh Norn for the memes.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
It's back! Opponent's gonna Lion Sash our Esper Sentinel, that's fine. Gonna move the equipment to the Lion Sash. It survives. Koll goes down. Neither of them have flyers, and we have giant flying army. What's that? That's 12. This one will kill Sean. This one over here. And this should do it. Hearth and Home. Get a land. We're up to 81. And down they go. We got a little help from Sean not killing us when we were wide open earlier in the game when he had his Christmas land hand of like 3 combats and a Chandra's Ignition and whatever else was in there. But I also kept a bad hand at the start, which definitely didn't get the greatest feel about how quick this deck is. There's a couple things about this game. So one, the fact that everyone was playing aggro means that everyone's life total was just kind of low anyway. And if you actually had to kill everyone from like 30 with this deck, I do imagine it's still going to take a while. The board state that we had at the end was actually pretty powerful with the Elish Norn and the Double Strike. I mean, but that's about as good as it's going to get with this deck. Most other board states are probably less powerful than that. Steel Plume gives you a little bit of damage, which is nice. I do have this Dragon Throne of Tarkir to theoretically put on Sephara and use it to pump everything else, which could be a cool play, but is probably, you know, wishful thinking more than anything. But yeah, I guess I ended up keeping a hand that was like a little more top heavy than what this deck really should have been, because there's a lot of 2-drops in here, and we just didn't catch those at any point early in the game, really. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.